car hums softly as it glides along the narrow road, cutting through endless fields of grain. The early morning light is gentle, casting long shadows across the vast meadows. The air is crisp, untouched, carrying the scent of damp earth and wildflowers. The only sounds are the quiet rustling of the wind and the distant chirping of birds. On either side of the road, the landscape stretches out infinitely, broken only by occasional wooden fences and scattered boulders. Ahead, the mountains rise like silent guardians, their peaks still shrouded in mist. They stand unmoving, towering over the valley, watching. There is something unsettling about their presence, something that lingers at the edge of perception. The road continues, a single lane winding through the countryside, barely wide enough for two cars to pass. But there are no other cars, no other travelers. Only the open road and the quiet, watching wilderness. The village appears like a mirage, its wooden houses scattered among the fields. Each home is quaint, built with care, their yards surrounded by small gardens and wooden fences. The windows reflect the pale morning light, but there is no movement. No sign of life. The silence deepens, pressing in with an invisible weight. The houses seem untouched by time, their doors closed, their chimneys dark. The car moves slowly through the village, the tires crunching softly against the gravel. There is a stillness here, a quiet too perfect to be natural. The trees sway, but there is no wind. A single swing in a yard moves gently, its motion deliberate, rhythmic, though no child is near. The car passes through, leaving the village behind, swallowed again by the open fields. The sun climbs higher, the landscape remains unchanged. The grass sways in the breeze, the mountains remain distant, unmoving. The temperature rises, the golden light of morning giving way to the harsh glare of midday. The road stretches endlessly, unbroken, unwavering. There is no sign of civilization, no houses, no farms, nothing, only the road and the wilderness. Then in the distance, a city emerges, tall buildings rise, their glass facades catching the sunlight. The streets are alive, pulsing with movement. Cars weave through lanes, pedestrians hurry along sidewalks. The noise is a stark contrast to the silence that came before. Horns blare, voices chatter, the energy of the city buzzes through the air. It is chaotic, overwhelming. The car pushes forward, swallowed by the thrumming heartbeat of the metropolis. Traffic slows, the roads twist and turn, a labyrinth of steel and concrete. The air is thick, heavy with the scent of asphalt and gasoline. The noise is relentless. A red light halts movement. The car idles among a sea of vehicles. A figure stands at the corner, unmoving, watching. Their gaze is fixed, unblinking, the light turns green. The cars move, the figure does not. The city fades behind, the road stretching once more into open land. The return to silence is abrupt, jarring. The vastness of the empty fields presses in once more, a void swallowing the energy of the city. The contrast is unsettling, the world should not shift so suddenly. The emptiness should not feel so absolute. A single house stands alone in the distance, its presence unnatural in the vast openness. The road leads toward it, unbroken, as if guiding the journey to a singular point. The house is small, unremarkable, yet its existence feels deliberate. The car approaches, tires crunching softly against the road. A single curtain shifts in one of the windows. There is someone inside. The road veers sharply, the house disappears. The mountains loom once more, closer now, the air grows thinner, colder. The road climbs, winding through jagged cliffs and dense forests. The trees grow thicker, taller, their branches reaching out like grasping hands. Shadows move within the canopy, shifting unnaturally. A tunnel appears ahead, its mouth gaping, dark. The car enters, swallowed whole by the abyss. The headlights cut through the darkness, illuminating damp walls and rusted beams. The tunnel stretches longer than expected. The exit should be near, but it is not. The darkness deepens. The walls seem to close in. The car pushes forward, the tunnel stretching infinitely, defying reason. Then, suddenly, light, the car bursts out into open land once more. The fields return, the mountains stretch wide, the journey continues. The silence remains, the road is unbroken. And ahead, in the distance, the house stands once more, waiting. The car slows, hesitating, but the road offers no alternative. It presses forward, approaching the house yet again. The sun has shifted now, casting elongated shadows that seem unnaturally still. A soft breeze stirs the grass, yet the trees around the house remain motionless. The curtain shifts once more, and this time, a figure steps forward. A man, or something resembling one, stands at the window. His face is indistinct, shrouded by the dim light within. The road curves unexpectedly, pulling the car away before the driver can react. The house vanishes behind thick trees as the vehicle climbs higher into the mountains. The air grows colder still. The road is tighter now, pressing against sheer cliffs with no barriers. A single misstep would send the car plummeting into the unseen depths below. In the rearview mirror, something flickers, a reflection that should not be there. A second pair of eyes, unblinking, staring from the back seat. The driver swerves instinctively, tires screeching as the car barely avoids the edge. Breath comes in short gasps. The back seat is empty. Ahead, the tunnel returns, but this time, something is different. The entrance looms impossibly large, its darkness no longer a mere shadow, but an abyss. There is no turning back now. The road, the journey, demands to be followed. The car plunges into the tunnel, and this time, there is no promise of light at the end. As the vehicle moves deeper into the tunnel, a low hum begins, reverberating through the walls. The air feels heavy, pressing in as if unseen forces are closing around the car. The radio flickers, static crackling to life, whispering words that are almost intelligible. The headlights dim, struggling against the darkness, and then the tunnel begins to change. The walls shift, warping as if they are breathing. The hum grows louder. The steering wheel jerks, pulling against the driver's grip. The car speeds up involuntarily, dragged forward by an unseen force. The whispers intensify, their words forming now, distinct but otherworldly. A name is spoken, the driver's name. The road stretches ahead, an unbroken ribbon of asphalt cutting through the vast, empty fields. The sun, now high in the sky, casts stark shadows across the landscape. The air is still, unnaturally so. The only sound is the rhythmic hum of the tires against the pavement, a steady, unchanging pulse. A breath catches in the driver's throat. The road is empty again, no sign of movement. The same unbroken expanse of nothingness, but something has changed. The air is heavier, the silence deeper. The rearview mirror shifts. A shadow in the backseat, just for a second. A trick of the light, surely the driver swallows hard, knuckles white on the steering wheel.